President and Sales Director here at Insurmark, and I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. We are very excited to talk about RME 360 this morning, and joining us is George VR. I've known George for about 18 years now. I've traveled with the country with him on numerous occasions and heard him speak to advisors and connect really well with them, giving them ways that quite frankly, you can grow your business through seminars. And what we're going to talk about today, and George is going to visit with us at length about it, is best practices, about going, quite frankly, back to the basics. You know, seminars are not dead. Despite some sentiments out there, seminars are alive, they are well, and George is going to help us uncover many of the myths that are going on around the seminars, including a lot of the concerns that are around. He's going to give us a State of the Union. And what I really like is they have many, many years of data. They have data dating back, I don't know how many years, but the analytics are as strong as any company that I've ever seen. If you want to go speak in a certain area at a certain restaurant, they can help you grow your business through seminars. So good morning, George. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff. Always great to talk to you. And you said we go way back, and it's funny, when we met recently with all of your staff in Houston, we talked about things that worked in the past, and I was there to kind of validate that the same dynamics are still working today. And hopefully today I will share kind of the State of the Union of seminars and how I see marketing being executed nationwide. And I'll give you a lot of people a lot of good, valuable tips and some feedback that I've gotten from the marketplace from very high top producers.
So glad to have you with us, and thank you. Take it away.
Well, obviously, Jeff, you made a good comment earlier. A lot of advisors, unfortunately, are missing out on the special face-to-face dynamic that seminars create for top producers, because they remember the old seminars back in the day when they were workshops and lunch and learns. And what I want to tell everybody today is kind of like, don't listen to the noise anymore. Let me give you some facts and information. I've been doing this for 20 years out of Tampa, Florida. And I'll give you a comfort level. There's more seminars being done today than ever before in the history of the industry or in my 20 years of being involved. And the reason is it continues to prove itself as something that's socially acceptable to the very guarded audience that you're targeting. I mean, think about it. You want new clients. Everybody needs new clients. And the ideal new client is 50 years and older who's confused and concerned about retirement, about running out of money, about investments. But millions of people, I discovered years ago, millions of people are procrastinating, or they don't understand what to do with their money. So they're embarrassed. I call it expert anxiety. There's millions of people that are the ideal new client of yours that are sitting on their money, and they have anxiety to meet with an expert because now they have to reveal that they have a weakness. They have the money, they knew how to earn the money, but they don't know what to do with it, and you do. Therefore, it creates a very difficult scenario for you and them to meet with each other. So in 1995, 20 years ago, as Jeff said, I created what I think today is the most successful way of getting in front of people face-to-face and dropping their emotional insecurity, which is at a restaurant, having dinner at a neutral social location. And I say that because a lot of you that have doubts about seminar marketing or are concerned about it or have been listening to the noise of people who don't do marketing the right way, or people who've done seminars, but they botched it up. They botched up the marketing, they botched up the presentations, therefore they go back in the industry and tell people they run into at conferences, yeah, I tried seminars and it don't work. Well, folks, I'll tell you one thing really, really clearly. I wouldn't be in business 20 years if there wasn't a better way of doing this. And what I'll tell you today, make you feel comfortable and give you some security that if you do this the right way, you're going to be successful. Around 95% of the advisors that I talk to who said they've not done well with seminars, 95% are doing them wrong. And within minutes, within half an hour, I can find 7 to 15 things that they didn't do right, and that's why they had a poor outcome. So let me give you a State of the Union in seminars. I said it earlier. There's more seminars being done today than ever in the industry, the history of the industry, because the consumers have told us all, yes, we will attend, we will go listen to somebody's presentation in big numbers. 17 million people now have attended seminars. Just out of Tampa alone, around the country, we do 800 to 1,000 seminar campaigns a month. There's not one other marketing program that's being used as frequently as seminars. And I am the company, I am the source to tell you that, because I do probably 60% of the seminars out there come out of RME 360. We've been at it for 20 years, and like Jeff said, we have a lot of data. That's why we're the largest. We've been at it longer, and we have a lot of information that we can give you back and help you have better outcomes. Now, you have to understand one thing really, really clearly. The biggest myth of seminars is the food. And I just recorded a coaching call last week about the food, because it's the biggest objection that we get. RME or no other mail house out there that's printing seminar invitations has anything to do with restaurants. We don't get any kickbacks. We don't benefit from it. We just have an enormous amount of proof of 20 years that the consumers rather meet you at a restaurant than any other location you could come up with. And believe me, folks, on this call, I've tried every single venue you can imagine. The numbers speak for themselves. The consumers have spoken. They respond more to a social type event specifically done at 6:30, meaning after hours. We don't do well with lunches, we don't do well with breakfast, and we don't do with weekends. Why? Because the consumers tell us. And direct mail is science. Out of all the medias that are out there, the one that slaps you in the face the fastest, whether you did it well or you did it wrong, is direct mail. You know immediately if you did things the right way by the response that you get. If you get 3 people or 5 people to respond, trust me, you did a lot of things wrong. If you get 80 to 150 people, you're following the proven formulas, which are the formulas that have been developed by hundreds and hundreds of top producers with companies like mine, because we get together and we agree on the following. Whatever the consumer responds to, we're going to do more of. Frequency is important. If you want to be in the seminar business and grow your business dramatically, you have to be in it for 4 or 5 months, meaning you have to do it 4 or 5 times. Radio, TV, newspapers, all the other media tell you to do it frequently. You can't run one radio spot. You can't run one billboard. I mean, I guess you could. It's not going to work. We're no different. Direct marketing is the most powerful way of reaching the most ideal audience, folks, because the mailing lists that are available today are unbelievably full of information that's valuable to you. No other media can specifically hyper-locally target your ideal client, your ideal prospect. Nothing else compares. I'm an advertiser. I'm a marketer. I wish I could do radio, TV, billboards, benches, online, but I'm in direct mail for a reason. It is the most efficient way to specifically target your audience. Now, I'll give you another tip. You only have 10 to 12,000 people in your area to target. You're going to make your living from specifically pointing your message to those within a 12 to 15 mile radius of your office. So once you know how many people exist, how many ideal prospects exist in that area, all you have to do is put a plan together with us to be constantly in front of them. And what I'm telling you right now is the top producers do it 5 to 10 times a year. And doing that alone will put you in front of 800 to 1,000 prospects. I'll repeat it, 800 to 1,000 prospects. I can't find any other vehicle in this country that can make that statement. That, there's a lot of marketing choices you have, folks, but do the numbers. Abundancy versus scarcity. That's what I teach you. And everything in life, except bad habits, of course, abundancy is king. The more you have of something, the more selective you can be. And in my case, I teach that to advisors for the last 20 years. I bring you many, many prospects that fit your criteria. You're only going to sell X amount. That's life. So those of you who have done seminars and only get 2, 3 appointments are disappointed, multiply that times 5 or 10 and you'll see the results. Do the math. Get a pen, pencil, get a paper, and write down your financial goals. We have enough information, like Jeff said earlier, to work backwards and tell you how many pieces you have to mail, how many nights, how many evenings you have to do, how much it's going to cost you for the entire year, and then we come up with an ideal goal, revenue goal, and guess what? We're pretty close to meeting it every time, because when you get in front of 800 to 1,000 people, 20% of them like you. 20% are going to be very confused, are going to make a decision to go with you because of the way you met them at a neutral site and a comfortable dinner outing. I don't believe in seminar, workshops, and pitches, and lunch and learns, and libraries, and hotels. Those are all fatigued. They're old. Try to understand why the dinner social creates unbelievable dynamics for you. Let me explain that. When people walk into a room where they're not going to shut the door and put pressure on them, and they see other people just like them, immediately there's a comfort level. There's safety in numbers, number one. Number two is, well, look at all these people just like us who had the same concerns. So it validates the reason for attending. This is all happening before you say one word. And I'll get to the invitation process later, because that's another way of making an impression on people. But let's back to the event. When you get there and people see you as the expert and you go up and tell stories and make a good presentation, your odds of closing business from any of those people in the next year are very high. So when you get into this business and you listen to companies like ours that can give you data, consulting, and advice, sound advice, you're going to see your business increase dramatically, because all those people that didn't buy from you at least got to experience the event and saw you. Guess what happens? 55-year and older folks, every 6 months, something's happening in their life, life-changing events. Guess who they're going to remember? And I'm telling you all this because I've had clients that are top producers for 10, 15 years. And all these stories that I've heard, I now share them with you guys, because that is what's going to happen. It's called critical mass. When you get out there enough and you're the expert and you use the approach of seminars and what I call social dinner events, they're going to talk about you and you're going to get referrals. But see, advisors that do 1 or 2 seminars and stop never benefit from that critical mass scenario. And to be in marketing, you have to do it frequently, and you have to be out in front of people when they're ready to make a decision, not when you need to sell. And I will tell you, we've developed the proven formulas. We know what days, we know what times, we know what copy, what packaging. Let's get back to the invitation now. There's a science to direct mail. I'm a direct marketer by trade, which happened to find your industry 20 years ago. But before I found your industry, I was doing direct marketing promotions for 15 industries, and the name of the game was response. What can I do with really clever packaging, layouts, and designs and messaging to get people to react to a mail piece? First of all, you're competing with a lot of mail in the actual mailbox. And then when you get to the kitchen, or you get to the library, or get to the living room, wherever they open their mail, you're now competing with other industries and messaging. So all that is taken in consideration by people like us, direct marketers, who understand what paper to use, what color, when to put it in the home, when to mail it. There's so many variables and moving parts. No wonder 95% of advisors make mistakes with seminar mailings. They don't understand direct marketing, nor should you, because you are a financial advisor. Your time is better spent in front of people, convincing them that they should trust you with their life savings, which is a huge task in itself. So if you understand top producers, don't worry about marketing. They hire companies like us, and we take over. Just like people hire you to manage their money. We're advisors. We're just marketing advisors. You're financial advisors. If you work with companies that have the consultative approach like we do, we don't just print and mail. And Jeff and I talked, a year ago about getting back together and bringing people back to the basics. It's really simple. You mail 7,000 to 10,000 invitations in your market. You get between 80 and 120 people consistently all year round. Even in the summer, I just did a report for a big webinar, and summer seminars are at the highest level of response because your industry falls asleep at the wheel. And if people are uncomfortable with their current advisor, they're going to seek a second opinion, and you have a phenomenal opportunity. Print and publishing, a huge, huge publication in the industry, just did a recent survey, nationwide survey, and seminars came in second place for the most utilized new client acquisition vehicle. Second place. First place was referrals. Now, referrals, as all of you know, they're great, but there's a limited amount of referrals you can get during the year. Seminars came in on second place. We have the webinar. We can share the details with you. We were invited to participate because we're the leading seminar marketing provider in the industry. So when they saw that it came in second place in the survey, I think there's 380 companies surveyed. We were called and asked, hey, would you mind sharing some information, because seminars ranked second, very high on the new client acquisition study that we did. And can you help us, George? Can you give us some information? So we did, and that's available to you if you want to look at it. So I'm here to tell you that you have to stop listening to the noise out there. Direct mail and seminars combined, the whole approach is working really, really well today. Top producers are using seminars the correct way and then developing better presentations. See, when you get people in front of you, you get better and better as you go, like an actor, like a singer. People, comedians go around the country, rehearse their act in small towns before they take it big time. The same thing happens in your business. You're a presentator kind of on stage. And I tell people, you're worried too much about the cost of marketing. I see a lot of advisors that overly concern themselves with how much the mailing piece is and how much it's going to cost me, instead of looking at how much am I going to make, how many people am I going to get in front of, what are my back-end results, George. I usually don't get asked those questions. I get asked, how much is it going to cost me to do this? And go, I would hope that'd be the last question you would ask me, because you still need to learn a lot of information, and we have to look at what is it going to do for you as a producer. And if you look at most magazines out there, the top producers, somewhere, if you read the paragraph, they're getting in front of more people than you are. That's what I see the big differentiator out there in the industry. The products are very similar, the commission is similar, the service, the back office service is very similar, yet companies like InsureMark make an effort to partner with people that are experts in their field. They don't want to be everything to everybody. So they bring people like us in and other things that I've seen. And InsureMark believes in this because I've known them for 18 years. And they understand that getting their advice in front of more prospects is just going to make more sense to them. The money, doing the numbers, the money's going to come. Now, the money's made on stage. I get you in front of people. I find a way to get you in front of more people every time you mail with us. You have to get better at your craft. For the seminars to work, you've got to be pretty good. Not an expert, not a great presenter or a great speaker. You have to be good at generating trust and sharing compelling information with people that are concerned. Let me talk about the plate liquor index, which is a huge myth that we hear about. Oh my God, George, they just showed up for the food. I don't want to spend the money. So let me give you some statistics. If you do an event without food and you do a lunch, you do it the wrong way, let's say you get 10 people. Well, most advisors, well, I'd rather have 10 people that are really motivated or interested than 50 people or 80 people. And here's the dilemma. If you get 10 people, number one, they're going to be intimidated by the smallness of the room, meaning, oh my gosh, there's hardly anybody here. That's going to hurt you. Second of all, you're probably going to be a little bit more aggressive to try to get business out of those 10 people. And ultimately, no matter how you present and what you do, 8 people are probably going to walk out of that event and not give you an appointment. Okay? If you do a seminar the right way, do a dinner event and not do a seminar, do a dinner event at 6:30, and you get 100 people, now you have abundancy. Now you can kind of be a little looser. You don't have to be so compromised to make sure you pitch those 10 people to get the business. So guess what happens? 80% of the people or higher are going to walk out of your seminar, just like the 8 people that did on when you had 10. And then because you fed people, you automatically resort to they're plate lickers. Well, if you don't do dinners and 8 people walk out of your 10 people event, what are they, information lickers, shoppers, window shoppers? My point here, folks, is it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get around 15, 20, 30% appointments no matter what numbers you have in front of you. So why not do 20% or 30% of 80? That's what top producers do to make money. They play the numbers game. And everything in life revolves around numbers. Sales, football team statistics, baseball. It's a numbers game, and those who know how to play it better win at this. So we give you coaching to go along with the numbers. We fill the rooms for you. We teach you what not to worry about. I mean, one of the best things our consultants do is talk to advisors and, bring them off the ledge. Say, you're worrying about a lot of things you shouldn't be worried about. And I got to tell you, folks, if you're a solution provider in this industry now, to be a leader, you have to be a solution provider. I work with people in my life that give me solutions and don't make me worry about things I shouldn't. And I love, in different aspects of my life, when I talk to my friends or people that mentor me, I love when they say, George, do me a favor, don't worry about that. And I just trust them enough to go, okay, good. You know what? I'm so glad because it was really bothering me. So we can tell you what not to do and what not to worry about. That's very important in helping you be a seminar or a marketing partner. Now, we do have other programs other than seminars, but I talk about seminars around the country because the numbers are so compelling. I have a suggestion for all of you today. You have to acquire new clients, and you're competing with probably 300 to 500 advisors in your immediate area. The only way you're going to win is if you outmarket them and you outsell them. Okay, you're not going to win by a bigger logo or it's very difficult now to compete if you're not employing marketing the right way. It's no different than any other industry. So we help you be in the 1 or 2%, the top 1 or 2% of the country that are doing these events the correct way from start to finish. What I've noticed in attending over 200 seminars is that a lot of advisors botch up the last part of their presentation right before they do the dinner. And by the way, folks, you do the dinner afterwards because you want to keep people around. If you didn't have the dinner, people would just be like the church. The sermon finishes, they leave. The dinner is to keep them around socially for you to make a further connection or for your staff to go around the tables and ask for the appointment in front of everybody one by one. That is a must, critical part, an element of the seminar. But before you go to the dinner and the appointment setting, a lot of advisors make mistakes, and they lose potential appointments because they don't know how to transition. If you call InsureMark, I've written what I believe to be the 10 most important objections that you must overcome in your presentations. I'm not going to go through them right now because there's 10 of them. It takes a long time. But I've written a report. But let me give you a tip of what it's all about. There's people in that audience that definitely came to hear you give them a confidence level that they should probably do something and meet with somebody professionally about their finances. There's other people that are sitting there that have been procrastinating, have anxiety for the last 2-3 years. There's another segment of the people sitting there that have an advisor, a CPA, somebody giving them advice, and they're not completely happy. They're cheating on their current advisor. There's other people there that just want to know they're missing out on something. Maybe they haven't heard something, some new product. So all those people, all those psychological traits mixed into that room, you have to understand that you have to address every single concern of theirs. So my 10 objections are in way of a frequently asked questions, meaning I want you to cover 10 things at the end of your presentation to make sure that everybody in that room knows exactly how you do business. I want the seminars, the dinner events, to be your first appointment. I want you to educate people as how you can help them and what kind of people you can help. I want you to be very clear with them. So these 10 objections that I wrote down in the report help you understand that those were questions that people were going to ask, but were afraid to or too shy or embarrassed to raise their hand. So people walk out of seminars that have done very well, a good experience, you did everything perfectly fine, you spoke well, you didn't sell, you didn't mention product, but somehow or another there's 8 to 9 couples that didn't make an appointment with you because there's something that they were concerned about that you didn't address. These 10 objections that I give you, I believe, are to be the most popular that I've seen in 200 seminars that I've attended. So we can work together with you. InsureMark is behind the whole approach of getting you in front of more people. You have to compete in your marketplace. If you're worried about saturation, please worry about saturation on your side, not on my side. There's not enough people doing seminars in your area to make your numbers go down. Trust me. Listen, I wish there were 50 people per city I was working with. I'm not. It's 2 to 3, and believe it or not, 1 or 2 of them eventually fall out because they don't wait long enough to turn the corner. And I should have 1 or 2 top producers in each city, and believe me, there's enough people to market to. But you have to understand, the saturation is on your side. You have way too many advisors. I went to an office in Sarasota the other day, and they were on the 5th floor. I won't mention their name. And I promise you, I walked up to one of my marketing guys here. We went over there to do a presentation, and we must have walked by 20 financial services offices on the way to this 4th, 5th floor, whatever. And I told that when I got there, the first word out of my mouth was, "How you doing today? You know, glad to be here. By the way, is this a financial advisor like Mecca here in this building?" So, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And I said, let me start my presentation with saturation on your side. He said, you're absolutely right. We have people that come here, they look around, there's all these many offices here, sometimes they go in the wrong office. So you're competing with a lot of people that want the ideal customer that you want. So if you market yourself smarter, better, using data and experience consulting, you're going to win at this. And what I mean win is you're going to increase your income by $100,000 to $300,000 because all these people that sit in your seminar are there for a reason. I told you earlier, something is wrong. It is your unbelievable opportunity to get them to at least like you at the event, because to get an appointment, folks, they're going to have to like you. They're going to have to agree with your value system. You're going to have to say the right words, the right messages in front of them for them to say, you know what, I'm glad I came. This person is worthy of me meeting face-to-face at the office or at their home. So I hope I gave you a lot of information today that kind of, breaks down the barriers that advisors create about seminars. And when you hear FMOs and you hear, producer groups saying, we use something else, please dig in. I've heard radio, TV, I've heard online. I've tried everything. When somebody tells you something's working, dig in deeper. Ask how many years, how many advisors, because a lot of you, unfortunately, are attracted by something that's new and fresh and sounds good. But if you do your due diligence and dig beneath the surface, it might be working for 7, 10 people around the country, right? Do something that's working for hundreds. And more importantly, I'll close with this. Do something that consumers agree with. The secret to being a good marketer, being a successful marketer in your area, is to do what nobody else is doing, which is give consumers what they want. I told you they were concerned. I told you they have anxiety. So do marketing that makes sense to them, socially makes sense to them, so they come to you. The best prospect you could ever generate in your world, and a very guarded audience, the best prospect is the one that comes to you. It's very difficult for you to chase people in your industry. It doesn't make sense. It annoys people. So create an engine that drives hundreds of people to you as the expert. I know it's seminars. I want you to call them dinner events. Maybe you'll understand the approach a little different. Jeff, like always, they can call InsureMark. I've met with all of your internal marketing representatives. They all know the system very well. I think when they call us and talk to us directly and do a consultation, Scott, who leads the team here for InsureMark here at RME in Tampa, will give you a lot of information way before we do any business with you. We give you a lot of education, and we answer a lot more questions than I could have answered today. But Jeff, like always, thank you for letting me speak to your advisors, and we're here to help InsureMark grow. Anything that comes out in the seminar world, any new products, new services, we're always going to be talking to InsureMark to make sure that your advisors have the best and the latest. And again, thank you for having me today, Jeff.
Oh man, thank you for joining us. Every time I hear George speak, I pick up a tidbit or two, and I thank you for your time. George mentioned Scott, and have a producer in Ohio that literally through our BizBucks program, we can help pay for your dinner events. as they're called. He was extremely thrilled, had 40-plus people to visit, and is writing about $400,000 to $500,000 on an initial client. So I highly encourage you to give us a call here at InsureMark. So you will find no one has the depth and the breadth and the data that RME 360 has, and we're proud of our partnership with both George and with Scott. So I did want to mention our BizBucks to you. That's our way of helping you pay for some of your marketing expenses. We also are deep into some of our incentive programs for the year. We'd love for you to join us in Hawaii. That's on our family reunion trip. And then we're taking our top 3 life producers this year to Gran Velas, Mexico. So I wanted to put that in front of you today as well. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your business. Please give us a call at 1-800-752-0207. Again, that's 1-800-752-0207. And I thank you for your time.